Hello, and welcome to Your Delaware. I'm Renai Ellison. Wilmington is so proud to welcome back the new minister of First Unitarian Church, the Reverend Pamela Wat. Hello. It is such a pleasure to have you here on Your Delaware. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Renai. I was raised Roman Catholic, and as a young adult, I kind of drifted out of the church. It wasn't, although I loved many things about the tradition, it wasn't filling my spiritual needs. And when I finished graduate school and after I had this experience on the mountain, I said, you know, I really need a spiritual community that's going to help me sustain this new vision for life that I have. So I graduated. I actually came back to Delaware for a year to do a chaplain residency, so learning chaplaincy at Christiana Care. And I had a Quaker supervisor who, you know, would listen to me kind of complain that I had this degree and I had felt this call to ministry and this call to minister in the church, but I didn't have a denomination that I felt like was a good fit for me. And one day he finally said, you know, you're a Unitarian Universalist. The next Sunday I went to First Unitarian Church in Wilmington, and I was greeted at the door by a man who saw my visitor name tag, and he said, are you Ed Watt's kid? And I said, yeah, that's my father. You know, I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, I worked with him at DuPont. So it was a way for my family to kind of know, and for me to know, like, oh, these are people we already know. Not only were they aligned with me on social beliefs and theological beliefs, but I could bring all of these experiences of the world religions that I had been carrying with me and the parts that really resonated with me, and all of that was welcome. In my ministry, we did some wonderful things with and in the larger community of Denton, Texas, where I was a minister, and the biggest was starting an LGBT resource for the larger community. And in some cases it was the only safe space these teenagers had where they could truly be themselves, truly talk about some of the identity shifts or noticings that they were going through in their lives. My heart breaks for the African American boys and young men in our community whose lives seem so incredibly threatened. And I know this is a larger issue for our country, but I am watching the news. I'm reading the paper. I get these updates to my email that tells me when a shooting has happened. And it breaks my heart.
What I can say to you is that the heart that you carry and the love that you give and the kindness that you generate will be the example that people can follow, so that maybe some of this trauma and drama can be alleviated.
Right.